Earth joined the Galactic Council in 2157, 3 years after aliens first came to the planet. The aliens found humans very interesting. What surprised them most was how deeply humans felt emotions, especially anger. Most other alien races had grown out of such strong feelings long ago. Dr. Jinnah Park stood in front of her mirror, checking her appearance before the important council meeting. She touched the small metal device attached to her temple. It hurt a little, but she was getting used to it. All humans had to wear these dampeners now. The council said they were necessary to keep human emotions under control. As Earth's top scientist who studied alien biology, Jinnah had a big responsibility. She represented all of humanity's scientific work to the council. The dampener at her temple sent small signals into her brain, keeping her emotions calm and steady. Other species found human emotional outbursts disturbing and even frightening. "Mom, mine is hurting again," her daughter Hannah called from the next room. Jinnah found her 8-year-old daughter pulling at the smaller version of the dampener attached to her own temple. Even children had to wear them now. Jinnah felt a flash of anger at this requirement, but the dampener quickly suppressed it, leaving only a dull sense of wrongness. "Let me see," Jinnah said, kneeling down to check Hannah's device. It was slightly misaligned. She adjusted it gently, trying not to hurt her daughter's tender skin. "Why do we have to wear these stupid things?" Hannah asked, her eyes filling with tears that the dampener couldn't quite stop. Jinnah chose her words carefully. "The other species in the council find our emotions scary sometimes. These help us fit in better." "But it feels wrong," Hannah said quietly. "I know," Jinnah agreed, brushing her daughter's hair back. "But for now, we must show them that humans can be trusted, that we can be controlled." Later that day, Jinnah stood before the council chamber. 50 different alien species watched from their seats, their strange eyes all focused on her. Some had multiple eyes, others had skin that changed colors, and a few weren't solid at all, but misty clouds contained in special suits. Jinnah's presentation went well. Her research on how cells from different species could help heal each other impressed the council members. She showed them how human cells could adapt and bond with alien tissue, potentially saving lives across the galaxy. After her talk, she noticed one council member walking toward her. He was tall and thin with skin so clear she could see blue blood vessels underneath. His name was Tahoe, representing the Ardani people. "Dr. Park," he said, his voice smooth and musical, "your work impresses us greatly. We had not expected such advanced research from a species so new to space travel." Jinnah felt a small burst of pride that even the dampener couldn't fully suppress. "Thank you, Council Member Tahoe. We humans may be new to the stars, but we learn quickly." Tahoe's skin rippled slightly, which Jinnah had learned was their way of showing interest. "I notice you brought your offspring today," he said, looking across the room where Hannah sat quietly reading a book. "Yes, my daughter Hannah. My husband died 3 years ago, so she often accompanies me to work." "A shame," Tahoe said, though Jinnah couldn't tell if he meant about her husband or having to bring her child. "My own offspring, Duri, is here today as well. The same age cycle as your Hannah, I believe. Perhaps they might enjoy meeting." Jinnah hesitated. Interactions between human and alien children were still rare. The council encouraged them, but carefully supervised all contact. "I think Hannah would like that," she finally said. Soon, Hannah was sitting with a small Ardani child. Duri looked like a miniature version of Tahoe, with even clearer skin that showed not just blood vessels but the outline of small bones. The two children were playing with a strange puzzle that seemed to move and change shape as they touched it. Jinnah watched them with a mixture of hope and worry. Hannah laughed at something Duri said, and the sound echoed in the formal chamber. Several alien representatives turned to look, some with expressions Jinnah couldn't read. "They get along well," Tahoe observed. "Perhaps this is the beginning of a true understanding between our peoples." Jinnah nodded, not knowing that this innocent friendship would soon be at the center of a crisis that would shake the entire Galactic Council and reveal what happens when a human mother's rage breaks free of all control. 3 months passed peacefully after Jinnah's presentation to the Council. Her work continued to impress the alien leaders, and Hannah formed a growing friendship with Fury, the Ardani child. The two children often played together during diplomatic events, which made both Jinnah and Council member Taho pleased. The Galactic Council organized a special reception to celebrate Earth's 3-year anniversary as a member. All important human representatives attended with their families. Jinnah wore her formal blue uniform, and Hannah wore a pretty dress she had picked herself. "Will Dury be there?" Hannah asked as they traveled to the Council's space station. "Yes, and several other children too," Jinnah answered. The Council arranged a special tour of the botanical gardens for all the children while the adults attend the reception. The event started well. Distinguished aliens from 50 species mingled with human diplomats and scientists. Jinnah spoke with several council members about her latest research, while Hannah and 11 other children, 7 humans and 5 alien younglings, left for their tour. 2 hours later, alarms blared throughout the station. Jinnah felt her heart race despite the dampener's effects. Something was wrong. When she reached the main chamber, she found chaos. Council members spoke urgently in their various languages while security personnel rushed about. The large screen at the front of the room showed an empty garden pathway. "What happened?" Jinnah asked a nearby human diplomat. "The children," he said, his face pale. "They're gone. All of them." Jinnah stood frozen before the screen. She stared at the empty garden where her daughter should be. The dampener stopped her from screaming, but it couldn't prevent the cold fear spreading through her body. Security Director June, a tall human with a serious face, stepped forward to address the council. "We have reviewed the security footage. The children disappeared during their tour of Section 12 of the Botanical Gardens. There is a 7-minute gap in our recordings." He pointed to another screen showing a small ship near the station. "Our sensors detected a Nara vessel in this area during the time of the disappearance." Jinnah had heard of the Nara. They were not part of the Council, a secretive species known for collecting biological specimens from across the galaxy. Humans had never encountered them directly. High Counselor Suo, the eldest Ardani on the Council, raised his thin hand for silence. His skin had turned a pale blue, which Jinnah knew indicated distress among his kind. "This is a grave situation," Suo said calmly. "We must follow proper protocols. A formal investigation will commence immediately. We will form a committee to study all evidence and determine the appropriate response." Jinnah stepped forward suddenly. The words burst from her before she could stop them. "My daughter is missing, and you speak of protocols? Of committees?" She felt something strange. Her anger was pushing against the dampener's control. Suo looked at her with his large eyes. "Dr. Park, I understand your distress. My own offspring Dury is among the missing, but hasty actions will not help them. The Council must act with proper procedure." Jinnah wanted to scream, to demand immediate action, but the dampener kept her voice steady. "How long will your investigation take?" "As long as necessary to proceed correctly," Suo replied. That night, Jinnah couldn't sleep. She paced her quarters on the station, touching the dampener at her temple. The loss of Hannah created a pain inside her that even the device couldn't fully suppress. As she pressed her fingers against it in frustration, she felt something odd, a slight movement. Looking in the mirror, Jinnah examined the device carefully. There was a tiny gap where it connected to her skin, a small design flaw. When she pressed it a certain way, the connection weakened. With trembling hands, she experimented, pushing and turning until she felt something click. Suddenly, the dampener came loose in her hand. The rush of emotion was overwhelming. 3 months of suppressed feelings flooded her mind. Fear, grief, love, and rage so powerful, she fell to her knees gasping for breath. Tears streamed down her face as she thought of Hannah, alone and afraid somewhere in the vastness of space. When morning came, Jinnah had a plan. She carefully reattached the dampener, but left it disconnected. She needed to appear normal while she worked. She found Dr. Hyun in his laboratory. He was a fellow human scientist who had been on Earth's first contact team years ago. "I need your help," Jinnah whispered, checking that no one could hear them. "I need access to the classified council records about the Nara." Hyun looked surprised. "Those files are restricted. Why do you need them?" Jinnah leaned closer. "I think the council knows more than they're saying, and I need to ask you something else. Does your dampener ever feel loose? Like it might have a flaw?" Hyun's eyes widened. He touched his own temple device, then glanced nervously around the room before whispering, "Sometimes. What are you suggesting?" "I'm going to find our children," Jinnah said firmly, "with or without the council's help." Jinnah and Dr. Hyun worked in secret for 3 weeks. They carefully hacked into the council's private records, searching for any information about the missing children. Each day without Hannah felt like torture to Jinnah, but working with her dampener disabled helped her focus her emotions into determination. "Look at this," Hyun said one night, pointing to a hidden file he had uncovered. "These are transfer orders signed by council member Taeho himself." Jinnah read the document, her hands shaking with anger. "This can't be right. It says the children were moved by official order, not kidnapped by outsiders." As they dug deeper, the horrible truth became clear. The Nara weren't independent raiders as the council had claimed. They worked for certain council members as collectors of biological specimens. Jinnah slammed her fist against the laboratory wall, the pain barely registering through her rage. The wall dented slightly under the force of her blow. "They lied to us," she said, her voice low and dangerous. "They took our children. Their own children, too. Why would they do this?" Hyun looked pale as he showed her another file. "This is a research proposal approved 6 months ago by an inner council committee. They wanted to study human emotional responses in controlled settings." "Controlled settings." Jinnah's voice rose. "They're experimenting on children. Human children adapt faster than adults. They wanted test subjects who could survive their procedures." Hyun's voice cracked. "The alien children are there as a comparison group." Jinnah felt sick. "Where are they keeping them?" Hyun brought up a star map. "Research Station Eridani," he said, showing her the coordinates. "It's beyond council jurisdiction, in unclaimed space. No laws apply there." Jinnah stared at the map, memorizing the location. "We have to tell everyone. The council can't hide this." The next day, Jinnah walked into the inner council chamber without permission. The 5 highest-ranking council members, including Suho, looked up in surprise as she entered. "Dr. Park, this is a closed session," Suho said calmly. Jinnah threw a data pad onto the table. "I know what you did. I know about Research Station Eridani. I know about the experiments." The council members didn't react as strongly as she expected. High Councilor Suho merely steepled his long fingers and looked at her steadily. "These are serious accusations, Dr. Park," he said. "We will need to form a committee to examine your evidence." "A committee?" Jinnah couldn't believe it. "My daughter has been gone for 3 weeks. All the children have. You know exactly where they are because you sent them there. Your emotional display demonstrates exactly why such research is necessary," said another council member. "Humans must learn to control these outbursts if they wish to remain in galactic society." Jinnah realized they had no intention of helping. They saw nothing wrong with what they had done. To them, it was just scientific research. "This meeting is over," Suho said firmly. "Security will escort you back to your quarters, Dr. Park. Your dampener appears to be malfunctioning. It will need replacement." That night, Jinnah sat alone in her room, feeling defeated. She had tried to go through proper channels and failed. What could one human woman do against the entire Galactic Council? Her datapad suddenly lit up with an incoming transmission. The message had no sender information. When she opened it, her heart nearly stopped. The screen showed a stark white room with 12 small beds. On them, the missing children lay connected to strange machines. Jinnah spotted Hannah immediately, huddled in a corner of her bed, hugging her knees and crying quietly for her mother. White-coated technicians moved around the room, preparing more equipment. One of them spoke while looking at a datapad. Begin emotional stimulation testing at 600 tomorrow. Priority on subjects 3, 7, and 9, the ones showing highest emotional readings. Subject 3 was Hannah. The transmission cut off abruptly. Jinnah sat in the darkness, trembling. The maternal rage rising within her felt like a physical force, unfiltered by any dampener. This wasn't just anger. It was something deeper, more primal, something the Council aliens couldn't understand. She knew what she had to do. By morning, she had contacted 7 other human parents whose children were missing. One by one, she showed them how to disable their dampeners and told them what she had discovered. They gathered in her quarters, these humans experiencing their full emotions for the first time in months. Some cried, others shouted in anger, but all agreed to Jinnah's dangerous plan. The Council doesn't understand what humans are truly capable of, she told them, her eyes burning with determination. They think these dampeners make us safe and controllable. They've never seen what a human parent will do to protect their child. One of the fathers, a former military officer, nodded grimly. What's the plan? Jinnah displayed the star map showing Research Station Eridani. We're going to need a ship and weapons, and we're going to show the Council what happens when they push humans too far. As the others began planning, Jinnah touched the empty spot on her temple where the dampener had been. Hold on, Hannah, she whispered. Mom is coming. The small ship flew through space faster than allowed by Council rules. Jinnah and the 7 other parents had stolen it from the Council's own transport bay. Now they headed toward Research Station Eridani, their faces set with determination. We'll reach the station in 20 minutes, said Min, a father who used to fly ships for Earth's Space Force. Their sensors will detect us soon. Jinnah nodded. They all knew this mission might end with their deaths or imprisonment, but none of them hesitated. Their children needed them. Remember the plan, Jinnah said. We get in, find the children, and get out. Try not to kill anyone unless absolutely necessary. The others agreed. They weren't killers. They were parents. As they approached the research station, they could see it clearly through the front window. It looked like a giant metal spider floating in space with a central hub and 8 long arms extending outward. Lights blinked along its surface. They'd spotted us, Min said as warning signals flashed on their control panel. They're telling us to identify ourselves. Jinnah leaned forward. Ignore them. Full speed ahead. Aim for docking bay 3. The ship shot forward, racing toward the station. Alarm signals blared inside their craft. They're preparing to fire warning shots, Min warned. Keep going, Jinnah ordered. Inside the research station, the commander watched the approaching ship on his screen. He was a tall Nara with gray skin and 4 eyes arranged vertically on his face. Unidentified vessel approaching at high speed, reported one of his officers. They're not responding to signals. The commander frowned. Scan for life forms. 8 humans, sir. No weapons detected on their ship. The commander relaxed slightly. Ah, the parents have come for their offspring. How predictable. He turned to his security team. Prepare to receive them in docking bay 3. Remember, they're just humans with malfunctioning dampeners. Their emotional displays are merely theatrical. Capture them unharmed for study. He didn't understand what was coming. The human ship crashed through the outer doors of docking bay 3, skidding across the floor in a shower of sparks before coming to a stop. Station alarms blared loudly. Armed guards surrounded the ship, weapons ready. When the ship's door opened, the humans emerged running at full speed, moving with a determination the guards had never seen before. These weren't the calm, controlled humans they were used to seeing at council meetings. Jinnah led the charge. She ducked under a guard's arm and struck him hard in the chest, sending him flying backward. Another guard fired a stun beam that missed her by inches. Jin-Ah grabbed his weapon and used it to disable 2 more guards. The Nara security team was confused. They had been told humans were physically weaker than most species and relied on technology rather than physical strength. But these humans moved with incredible speed and purpose. Jin-Ah checked a station map they had stolen from the council records. "Children's sector is down this corridor," she shouted to the others. "Follow me." They ran through the station's white hallways, disabling any guards they encountered. Jin-Ah felt no fear, only fierce determination. Every guard between her and Hannah was simply an obstacle to remove. 3 large guards blocked the entrance to the children's sector. The biggest one, clearly the leader, held up a hand. "Stop immediately," he ordered. "This is a restricted research area." Jin-Ah didn't slow down. She charged directly at him, ducking under his first swing and striking him with a force that surprised even herself. The other parents quickly overwhelmed the remaining guards. Jin-Ah pressed her hand against the door scanner. Nothing happened. "We need authorization," one of the other parents said. Jin-Ah didn't hesitate. She grabbed an unconscious guard's hand and pressed it to the scanner. The door slid open. Inside, they found what the secret transmission had shown: their children connected to machines in a large white room. Scientists in lab coats looked up in shock as the parents burst in. "Mom!" Hannah cried out when she saw Jin-Ah. Jin-Ah ran to her daughter, quickly removing the sensors and wires attached to her small body. The other parents did the same with their children. The 5 alien younglings looked confused and frightened. "Take them too," Jin-Ah ordered. "All of them." One of the scientists tried to stop them. "You don't understand. This research is vital for understanding human emotional responses. The council authorized this." Jin-Ah grabbed him by his coat. "Then the council will answer for it too." By the time station reinforcements arrived, it was too late. The parents had gathered all 12 children in the central room. Jin-Ah held Hannah tightly in her arms, while the other parents formed a protective circle around the remaining children. Around them lay the unconscious forms of the station's staff, injured but alive. The commander of the reinforcement team approached carefully, his weapon lowered. "You are surrounded," he said. "Release the test subjects and surrender." Jin-Ah looked at him calmly, still holding Hannah close to her chest. "Call the council," she said. "Tell them to come see what they've done." When the council security team finally arrived hours later, they found the parents still waiting with their children. The station staff were beginning to wake up, nursing various injuries. "I could have killed them all," Jin-Ah told the head of council security. "But I wanted them to stand trial. I wanted the council to see what humans will do to protect their children." The emergency council session began 3 days after the rescue. All 50 species sent representatives. The huge meeting hall was completely full. News of what happened at Research Station Eridani had spread quickly throughout the galaxy. Jin-Ah stood in the center of the room, facing the High Council. She wore her formal uniform, but her dampener was noticeably missing. Beside her stood the other parents, also without dampeners. Their children waited safely in a nearby room, watched over by human guards. "Dr. Jin-Ah Park," began High Counselor Suo, his voice echoing in the chamber. "You stand accused of stealing council property, attacking a research facility, and injuring 15 staff members." Jin-Ah looked at him steadily. "And you stand accused of kidnapping children for cruel experiments." A murmur ran through the crowd. Many council members had not known the full truth until now. "The research was approved through proper channels," said another council member. "By whom?" Jin-Ah asked clearly. She held up a datapad. "I have the authorization documents here. 3 council members secretly approved this project. One of them is sitting right there." She pointed directly at Tayo. The Ardani's skin turned dark blue with shame as all eyes turned to him. "You feared our emotions," Jin-Ah continued, speaking to the entire council now, "yet you exploited them. You believed our fury was destructive without recognizing it as our strength. She walked slowly around the circle, making eye contact with many representatives. You made us wear dampeners because you feared what humans might do when angry. Then you stole our children to study those same emotions. You cannot have it both ways. The evidence against the three conspirators was clear. Security recordings showed Tahoe and two others planning the abduction. Transfer orders carried their signatures. Most shocking was that Tahoe had used his own child, Dury, to gain access to the human children. We only sought to understand. Tahoe insisted during his questioning. Human emotions are powerful and dangerous. We needed to study them properly. Jinnah stepped forward. Understanding comes through respect, not abduction. If you wanted to learn about human emotions, you could have simply asked. The trial lasted 2 more days. In the end, the 3 guilty council members lost their positions and faced punishment according to their own world's laws. More importantly, the council voted to change humanity's membership terms. Dampeners would no longer be required for all humans. Instead, they would become optional tools that humans could use if they wished. We recognize now that human emotions serve an important purpose, said High Counselor Suo in the final session. What we witnessed was not mindless rage, but protective instinct, something several of our own species have lost through evolution. The Council also established a new Children's Protection Division to ensure no such experiments would ever happen again. Jinnah and Hannah were named honorary advisors. 6 months later, Jinnah watched Hannah playing with alien children in the Council's new integration center. Human and alien younglings learned together without fear. None of the human children wore dampeners now. Jinnah noticed a tall figure approaching, High Counselor Suo. His skin was a healthy blue-green today, indicating good health and calm emotions. Dr. Park. He greeted her with the human-style bow she had taught him. Your daughter seems happy. Jinnah nodded. Children are resilient. She still has nightmares sometimes, but they're getting less frequent. They watched the children play for a moment in comfortable silence. We misunderstood humanity, Suo finally admitted. We saw only the danger in your emotions, not their purpose. For thousands of years, my species has focused on removing emotion to achieve peace. We never considered there might be value in keeping them. Jinnah nodded. Every species has defenses. Some have claws or venom or advanced technology. Humans have love that transforms to rage when necessary. It's not a defect. It's how we survived. Suo's expression shifted to what Jinnah had learned was respect. The galaxy has much to learn from human mothers, Dr. Park. Jinnah smiled, touching the empty space where her dampener once sat. And we have much to learn from you. But first, you must accept us as we truly are. In the years that followed, humans took on new roles in the Galactic Council. Their emotional understanding helped solve conflicts between species that logical diplomacy could not fix. Some humans chose to wear dampeners in certain situations, but as tools they controlled, not chains imposed by others. And across the galaxy, the story spread through every world and space station, how the Council believed human fury was under control until they witnessed a mother's rage. The end.